Guys, Ask a Felon back with another one for you. Let me jump straight to the questions. When did getting high stop being something you wanted to do and becoming something you felt like you had to do? When getting high it was always something I wanted to do. I don't know, like there was a point that it started out me wanting to do them, and then it became I had to do because I would be dope sick if I didn't do them. And that's when I got on to a regular medication that was supposed to help you with your addiction, and that there just spiraled me out of control to where I was doing harder drugs, harder drugs, harder drugs. But what made me come from wanting to do and having to do was when I became fully addicted. Once I started experiencing withdrawals when I didn't have the drugs, that's when I started being I had to do them. There was no way around it. If I didn't do them, I wouldn't. I had no energy. My whole body was sore. I had no motivation. I was depressed. Like, it was bad. It's bad when you are fully addicted to drugs. It's physical. It's not all mental. There's a lot of physical with it. People say it's a mental thing. It's not. There's physical that comes with it when you're withdrawing. What's the difference between wanting to quit drugs and actually being ready to quit? Between wanting to quit and being ready to quit is two different things, because you ain't gonna quit until you're actually ready to quit. If you're wanting to quit for any other reason besides you want to quit yourself, if you're wanting to quit for court, or you're wanting to quit for your family or anything like that, you're not. I don't think you're going to be able to do it as easy as you would if you was ready to quit. Because when I was ready to quit, I felt like I didn't have no reason to quit. I got tired of being on the run from the cops, but I felt like, why not stay high when any minute I can go to jail? you know, what do I got to look forward to? Why not stay high? Doing this sober is going to suck, so I stayed high the whole time I was on the run. Well, why not? This way, when I get arrested, I'm going to be high, and I can just adapt inside there. You know what I mean? Because the withdrawals is the hardest part. When you're ready to quit, you're going to have to face them withdrawals, and that's not easy. You're going to have to wean yourself down slowly, and even then, that don't work as good as you would think, because with weaning down, your body has a tolerance. Once you're up to, say you're used to doing 10 pills a day, yeah, you can wean down and start doing 5 a day, and then eventually do 3 a day, and then eventually do 2 a day. But you feel it. You still feel the effects of not having your full dose of whatever you're used to taking, whether it's heroin, crack, coke, pills, whatever. I mean, I was doing everything out there. Literally, I was doing everything. Dilaudid, Xanax, Valium, Clozapine, Hydros, Suboxone, Subutex, heroin, everything. I was doing it all. I was shooting up. I was doing everything. So the difference between actually wanting to quit drugs and being ready to quit, I guess there comes a time in your life when you finally say, that's what happened with me. I finally got to a point in my life when I said, I want to quit. I'm done. This life ain't for me no more. I done lived it, paid consequences I should have never did. So when I just finally decided I wanted to quit, that was when I got out of prison. I done went through prison and got through the detox and all that. And then when I got out of prison, I told myself there's no reason to start using again. Even though I went to a doctor and they prescribed me a controlled substance again, I still told myself, no, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to get high no more, because being high only led me to problem after problem after problem. So that was when I decided I want to quit. There's a big difference between wanting to quit and having to quit. For one, like, you have to quit for drug court. You have to quit if you're on probation, or you have to gamble every time you do it. How much of your criminal behavior do you think was directly connected to your addiction? Every bit of it. 100%, every bit of it. I mean, it must have been down in me somewhere, but whenever I got on drugs, it turned me in. And it wasn't just every drug. If I was on opiates, I didn't do stupid shit. If I was on anything speed, I didn't do stupid shit. The only time I ever did stupid shit was when I was on Xanax, on some type of benzo. When I got on them benzos, I turned into a thief. I turned into a liar. I turned into everything that I stand against sober. Anything that I can't stand when I'm sober, it's like I turned into that when I took my Xanax. It's crazy. I was still stupid shit that ain't even got no value. I'd just take it just because. Like, Xanaxes do that to a lot of people. There's a lot of people I know, a lot of people I met in prison who said the same thing. When they get on them Xanaxes, it's like it turns off a switch in your head and you become somebody totally different. I mean, I'm not saying that taking any amount, obviously I was overdoing it. When I took them like I was supposed to, I didn't do stupid shit. But when I overdid them, yeah, I got pretty stupid on them. So I say all of my criminal behavior was directly related to addiction. That's one of the reasons why the judge gave me drug court. They give you drug court when you commit your crimes and you're on a binge and you're high. The drug court's an option, but it's a real intense, like 3-year long program that you got to do. You got to get up every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning and take a piss test every single morning, whether it's a blizzard outside or not. No matter what it is, you have to show up. And you have to get that random drug test, and you never know what they're testing for. You could gamble and chance it and might think, oh, they ain't going to test me for coke today, because they would just pick random dipsticks. It might be opiates one day. The next day you go, it might be cocaine they test for. Next day you go, it might be fentanyl they test for. Next time you go, it might be fentanyl again. They might do it 2 days in a row. They just all depend on what you would do. So all of my criminal behavior was connected to my addiction. If someone watching this is deep into addiction right now, what would you want them to hear? That you can quit. It's not going to be easy at all. It's not. The 100%. It is not easy, and you got to have a real good support system, and you got to be able to have a time you can lay down and go through the withdrawals. Depending on how far gone, but it said that question was someone who's deep into addiction. If you're deep into it, you're gonna have to have time to be able to go through your withdrawals. That means you're gonna have to have time where you can't. For me and the people I've known, when you're going through the withdrawals, you physically cannot get up and do shit. That's that bad. I watched people in jail go through the withdrawals, and they had them in wheelchairs because they was so far gone and out of it and hurting so bad that in jail, the people withdrawing, they would let them sleep on the floor for days and days in bookend, or they would put them in a wheelchair and wheel them to court because you wouldn't even get up to go to court. You're going through withdrawals that bad. That's coming off of heroin and shit. So depending on what you're coming off of, it's always going to be different. For Xanaxes and stuff like that, you can have seizures. Alcohol, you can have seizures. But the thing I would say is you can do it. It's going to be hard as hell, but once you get past the withdrawals, it's all good. You'll feel 100% better. You'll have natural energy. It's a whole different world once you get off of them drugs. I mean, it's a real hard process for sure to get off of them. The withdrawal is the hardest part. That's why I think a lot of people don't get off of them, because they know how it feels. The first day or two they don't have something, and it just gets to be so overbearing that you're like, fuck it, I'm going to get in something. I can't stand this. What was the hardest part about adjusting to prison during your first month? The hardest part about adjusting to prison during my first month was the loneliness I felt. Like I just felt alone because I wasn't in there kissing nobody's ass. I wasn't going to chummy up to people who, if I didn't mess with you on the street, if you wasn't somebody I'd mess with on the streets, I didn't mess with you in prison. So if you're one of them fake fuckers that was running around kissing ass and sucking up to everybody and all that shit, like, nah, don't come to me. If you're a liar, don't come to me. Like, if I didn't mess with you on the streets, or if I wouldn't mess with you on the streets, I didn't mess with you in prison. So yeah, I stayed alone. I stayed pretty lonely to myself. I clicked up with a couple guys who's the ones who did my tattoo work and shit like that. There was a few people in there I clicked up with, but other than that, I stayed to myself. I was my own man, did my own thing. I didn't need nobody there to support me in prison. You know, it was me all the way on my own. What's something about prison that completely surprised you? That everybody in there ain't bad people. That's what surprised me. I thought I was going to go in there and it was going to be nothing but straight piece of shits that was evil and all bad people. All it is people who got caught doing something. That's what it is. Just because somebody's in prison don't mean they're a bad person. It means they made a bad choice and they got to pay their consequences. It don't mean everybody in there is bad people, because 90% of the people in there did shit when they was fucked up and don't even remember it, or they was so far gone that they didn't even know what happened. So that was the thing that surprised me the most, was that not everybody in there is a bad person. Not everybody in there is wanting to try to beat people up. It's not everybody in there is wanting to try to rob people. There's actually good people in prison. At least from my experience, I met some good dudes in there. Good dudes that I would have hung out with on the streets. What was the loneliest moment you experienced while in prison? That'd probably be my first night. The first night I was locked up in prison, and I actually got the feel of the real reality of my situation when them cage doors closed. That was probably the loneliest feeling I ever had, because I was in there with complete strangers. I didn't know what to expect. And then that's when I realized this is my reality. This is where I'm going to be for the next up to 20 years. So that was probably the loneliest night. The loneliest experience I experienced was my first night. Did prison make you a different person, or did it force you to finally become the person you could have been? I think it finally forced me to become the person I could have been. I've always been a good dude when I'm not messed up on Xanax or nothing. I got a big heart. I'll do anything for anybody. Like that's just me. But as soon as I get on them Xanax, I changed completely to a whole different person that I don't even recognize. But I think it just made me finally become the person I could be. Do you think people can truly change, or do they simply learn how to control the person they used to be? I think people can truly change. There's experiences you go through in life that change people. Everybody might have everybody's life-changing experience is going to be different. Depends on where you're at in life. What a life-changing experience is to you. There's people who ain't hit rock bottom yet that can experience something that's life-changing to them. Then there's people who have to hit rock bottom for it to be a life-changing experience. For me, I had to hit rock bottom. The bottom of the bottom of the bottom is where I had to hit before it was life-changing experience for me. Do you think you had to hit rock bottom before you become the person you are today? Yeah, I had to hit rock bottom. 100%, I had to. There was no other way around it that I was going to work. I had to hit rock bottom, or I would have never changed who I was, how I was, and what I was doing. But with that being said, guys, that's all I got for this one. If you would, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, throw some questions in the comment section, and tell your friends to subscribe. But with that being said, till the next one, see ya.